Like, I've talked to AJ Brown at times this year. It's, I'm not there now, but look, do I get the sense he's miserable? No.
No,
Frustrated?
he's
Yeah.
miserable.
Yeah.
He's
But I
miserable.
don't think there was anything wrong with what Diana said.
Jeff, welcome to the program, brother.
Hey, what's up, guys?
All right, my personal stat guy, Jeff Kerr. So whatever the number is, I think it's 580 something since week 4 of last season. 580 pass attempts, 2 interceptions. The first span of 500 plus in NFL history at any point for any quarterback. That's the stat I saw. Is that stat real? Because it's so unreal.
That is correct.
I mean, that's fucking insane.
They don't beat themselves. They let other teams do it.
Exactly. Say it again, Jeff. They don't beat themselves.
The Lions did it last night. Dan Campbell, 0 for 5 on 4th down. And I get it with the wind and everything else. You don't want to kick a field goal there, but they just kept going for it. And then, oh, by the way, at the end of the game, Dan Campbell decides to punt.
Yeah, well, they broke him. I think they broke him. He gave up.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd see Dan Campbell give up.
Yeah, as bad as of a call I thought that was at the end of the game, I still don't think the Lions were scoring a touchdown. So
no, I don't think either. Well, as bad as the pass interference, as bad as the 4th and 1, and they were both egregious by Nick Sirianni, the 4th and 1. Just punt the football. Yeah. That deep in your own territory. And then, the pass interference was brutal now that I've gotten a chance to see it. But they weren't going to score. They just weren't.
Jared Goff was so rattled last night. That's his lowest completion percentage in the game ever.
Yeah,
he was terrible.
I speculated that earlier. Is that confirmed, Jeff? It is the lowest of all time for him?
For him, yeah. And you know what's crazy about this whole thing? So I had to look up some numbers last night. I did in my overreactions pieces I put on Twitter so y'all can see it.
X.com, the X platform.
Yeah, the X platform. Jared Goff is actually really good on the road. So this is kind of surprising. Oh, by the way, he's also really good in under 50-degree weather, which I did not think was true, but it is. So credit to Vic Fangio.
Is he good in the wind, though? Is he good in the wind?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I got to look that one up. Yeah. I don't think there's a metric for wind.
By the way, I don't think any quarterback's good in the wind.
No.
That's what they hate the most.
That's what I thought was crazy about, trying to force feed AJ Brown last night. It's like, you sure you want to do that this week? Want to wait a week or two?
Yeah, right.
Well, squeaky wheel, yada, yada. He got some targets.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely got his targets. He also only had 7 catches for 49 yards.
That ain't just a squeaky wheel. That axle was broken coming in. Jeff, kind of your full thoughts on the game, just overall. I know we started right there, but I do want to kind of just zoom out for a second. 2 weeks now, Jeff, you hold the Lions and the Packers collectively to 16 combined points, which is just insane. If you told us that at the beginning of the year, I think we all would have been like, that's not happening. They win the game 16-9. Offense was what it was. The defense was absolutely incredible. Just your first thought, your first takeaway from the Eagles' big win on Sunday Night Football.
I think they got their pass rush back from last year. It's amazing what one player can do. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Jalen Phillips is a steal. It's a heist, and you gave up a 3rd-round pick for the guy. Like, it just shows you how good he was under Vic Fangio those 8 games in 2023, and he's all over the place. I mean, he was so crucial to that 4th down stop in that goal-to-go situation, but it's opening things up for Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Moro Jomo, Jalix Hunt. Look, the Lions have a really good offensive line. Let's not skew the narrative here. This is a really good offensive line, and
Vic called it the best. He called it the best in the NFL.
And I don't think Vic's wrong. Well,
I don't think they're number 1, but they're good. They're top 5. Yeah. I think they were potentially number 1 with Frank Ragnow, but they don't have Frank anymore. Plus, Coyote Awasika was in there. Their left guard was out. So not quite up to what Vic said, but still a very good offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, Penei Sewell, I don't think he had that great of a game. He had a good game, but not the all-pro Penei Sewell.
That 4th down in the near the end zone, Jalen Phillips burnt him, ran right around him.
I don't think I've ever seen a better game from Jalix Hunt.
Yeah, he's
Jalen
really
Thomas all over the field.
He's benefited tremendously from Jalen Phillips, 100%.
Have you seen a better game from Jordan Davis?
Probably not. Yeah, that's a good point.
Jordan, he's having a sneaky
Really,
good year.
I
Yeah, it goes unnoticed because of the position he plays. It's not exactly a stat-dominated position, but the guy's tied for the NFL lead amongst defensive linemen in batted passes. Keep in mind he plays defensive tackle.
It's J.J. Watt.
Yeah, it's crazy. You're right, Jeff. It's really incredible. Jeff, let me ask you what you think of this. I've had a sense of enlightenment today, okay, Jeff, where for many weeks I was saying we're not going to win in the playoffs if our offense can't be a little better than this. This is too bad, and we're going to get got. Well, if you can play that bad offensively versus the Lions and still win the game, I mean, I feel like we could beat anybody. I mean, I feel like we don't never need the offense to get better. Do they need the offense to get better, or is this defense good enough to take them the distance?
I mean, just ask the Denver Broncos how that's working out for them. Their offense looks terrible basically every single week, and they find ways to win.
Yeah, I
know.
I
mean, the two best teams in the NFL right now have offensive identity issues, and they're the ones on winning streaks, and they're the ones that are currently the number one seed in their conference. So, look,
I don't think I've ever seen a season, certainly recently, where all the best teams have a bunch of holes.
That's why it's so I think that's why a lot of people are kind of saying, look, the Eagles are probably going to go back to the Super Bowl because they got the most talent out of all these teams. And you're right, John. Everybody's got a bunch of holes this year.
And by the way, today, if the playoffs started today, they do not. But if the playoffs started today, the Detroit Lions, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Baltimore Ravens would not be invited. So, who the hell's going to beat the Eagles?
Well, let's look at the teams the Eagles have beaten, because I like to point this out. The Rams, the 2 seed. The Packers, the 6 seed. The Lions, who are currently out. By the way, the Eagles have a huge role in keeping them out. They do not get to play the Seahawks. They played the Buccaneers. They beat them. The Bears are 7-3, but they have the weakest schedule out of anybody in the league so far. Their strength of victory is also really bad. So I don't know what to make of them.
The Bears are this year's Commanders. People think they're good, but they're not good.
Exactly. And look, by the way, the Eagles beat the Chiefs, who I know it doesn't look as impressive now because they're 5-5, but they beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead. So any box you want the Eagles to check, they check. Oh, and they had a late lead against the Broncos in the fourth quarter. They had a 14-point lead against the Broncos in the fourth quarter. So, look.
Cilio brought that up last night. He was like, well, the Broncos beat them. I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's like, yeah, but can't have it both ways. Like the Rams outplayed the Eagles, but the Eagles found a way to win the game. But the Rams outplayed them. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but I think the Broncos are sneakily like the Eagles. Great defense, great offensive line, good running game. Okay on offense.
Well, there's two big differences. One, they don't have a long sustained history of
that's certainly true.
Winning games and figuring out ways to win games in all different fashions. And two, their quarterback will turn the football over quite a bit.
Yeah.
Where we just talked about Jalen Hurts, whatever the number is, 588, I think is the number. If I'm wrong, correct me, Jeff. But 588 passing attempts, 2 interceptions. That's freaking insanity.
It doesn't happen.
No, it's never happened. To that point, it's never happened before. Ever.
And look, what was the turnover margin last night, John? 1-0?
Yeah.
Officially, we're not counting the fourth down.
Well, yeah, that nicked fourth down, then they were +6, which makes the offense look even worse.
Yeah, I was going to say
you shouldn't say that. Yeah, because they had short fields. They had, and they did nothing with it.
It's amazing. The only team over the last 25 years to go 0 for 5 on fourth down or worse are coached by Dan Campbell.
Well, he does it, and that's, been part of their success. So I'm not going to kill them for 1 week. It just wasn't, they didn't execute. That's what it comes down to. But
that's how he lost the conference title game too.
Yeah.
He lost conference title game doing that. But you're right, John. That's who he is. He's not going to change.
Yeah. I mean, you can't have it both ways. You can't build up a team with that aggressive nature and then stop it and say, well, we shouldn't do it.
They
in the
did
biggest
stop in the fourth
moments.
quarter.
Well, yeah, and I think
They-
that was so uncharacteristic. I said, oh, if that were an MMA fight, they tapped him out. He just gave up. He just gave up.
He was hoping the Eagles would kind of beat themselves, and the coach played a role in
I
that
guess
by going for it.
I guess they did. They made him look good. Nick made him look good with that poor decision. And then, maybe, I don't think so. I think he gave up, but maybe he said, well, their offense can't do anything either, but I don't think so.
Yeah, Nick made up for what I thought was a good decision early in the game when he decided to kick that field goal. I think it was in the second quarter, the 27-yarder by Elliott, and then all of a sudden he said to go. And look, I know Nick has said this to us, John, before about that, a situation like that, and you kind of roll your eyes, but then when he does it, you're like, I guess he's backing up what he's saying, but. And
by the way, Jake Elliott in bad weather is a big advantage over like a dome kicker like Bates, who's brutal out there.
Jake Elliott hits like 50-yarders in the snow and 50-yarders in the wind.
Now, he didn't make the 54-yarder late, where I guess he hit that right, but boy, he didn't. That extra point. So Jake Elliott deserves some credit for being developing himself into a poor weather kicker. But the bottom line is, I'll tell you this. I mean, 2017, the Eagles have home field, go to the Super Bowl. 2022 have home field, go to the Super Bowl. And last year, because of how things worked out, they're playing at Lincoln Financial Field and they go to the Super Bowl.
And this is the game the Lions wanted. This is the game that, and I said it multiple times, if the Eagles played Detroit in Detroit last year, they're going to lose. But it didn't happen. So, because the Lions couldn't beat the Commanders. So the Eagles got a gift and they took advantage of it.
Yeah.
I thought the Lions were the best team in football last year until the last couple weeks of the season when their defense was giving up 35 a game because everybody was hurt. I'm like, well, you can't win the Super Bowl playing defense like that. And I thought they'd correct it because people would get healthy, and no one got healthy.
Yeah, it's a big part of it. Jeff, what'd you make of A.J. Brown's game? Obviously had the week preceding the game where a lot of commentary, owner meeting, all sorts of different things. And then he gets 11 targets, 7 catches, 49 yards. There was one play that many are pushing back on A.J. for, looking like he kind of gave up on a route. I happen to think there's more context there than fans give. But it is what it is. What do you think of A.J. Brown's performance last night, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, in the moment, I was like, well, either A.J. Brown gave up on the play or he just didn't know the pass was coming to him. I would love to hear A.J.'s explanation. Look, I don't think it's as big of a – I'm like you, Zander. I don't think it's as big of a deal as people are making it out to be. Look, I thought A.J. Brown was fine. I didn't think he was great. I didn't think he was – I just don't think the weather was ideal for him to actually go off last night. But, look, I thought he made –
he's lost a step.
You know what? I was talking about this with some friends last time we were watching the game. And like, he doesn't look like, and I said, I've been to enough of these games and these practices, and John knows this. It's just doesn't look like the same player. I don't know if it's the hamstring injury from earlier this summer. I don't know. But I mean, would it really, I hate to bring this up, but would it really shock anybody if the Eagles moved on after this season?
No, I think fans are starting to move on. I think fans are starting to turn on him a little bit, which I didn't expect to see because I think I set my record for muting people on Saturday when I dared to repost Diana's column. And then I just, come on, stop being baby ears. I mean,
what was wrong with, why don't fans like Diana? I'm curious.
Because they don't want to hear. Yeah, she's reporting what they don't want to hear. And by the way, I've reported the same damn thing on this show, and they don't want to hear it constantly.
Yeah, it's. I mean, look, I said it yesterday. Like, I've talked to A.J. Brown at times this year. It's, I'm not there now, but look, do I get the sense he's miserable? No, frustrated.
No,
yeah. Yeah. But I don't think there was anything wrong with what Diana said.
No, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
No, and you know what? Diana's a great reporter. I really don't like when people go after reporters. I don't. Oh, the media is evil. Stop.
Yeah, we're all having. Our back table, DeCecco and Caden Steele stopped by, and Sal stopped by, Sal Palantonio, who did his own story yesterday.
Sal had a great story yesterday.
We had a little meeting, and we tried to take down the Eagles. We can't do it. We can't do it.
Not even their offense can take
and by the way, I'm joking. We don't do that. We had dinner.
Yeah, you guys would enjoy that our whole little powwow before game. I think fans would really enjoy it. The sarcasm that comes out of there.
Yeah, we should put up a video camera and make it a show. Who knows? Maybe
we should.
Maybe we'll do that.
You'll get a random Seinfeld reference in there. You'll get certain comments. People would enjoy it.
Jeff, what'd you make of Jalen Hurts' game yesterday? 14 to 28, 135. Doesn't turn the ball over. Doesn't do a whole lot to add in terms of in a game like that. But boy, I told you, Jeff. If we can beat the Lions with the offense not doing anything, like that was the one team, Jeff, that I'm like, that team will get you because they're going to put points on the board. Well, they didn't, and you still win.
Yeah.
What'd you make of Jalen Hurts' performance and where he is right now in the 25 season?
I mean, look, I wasn't good last night. I'll be blunt. He wasn't good. I mean, I thought he was going to hit Saquon Barkley on that wheel route for a touchdown. Yeah. I think, and he didn't. Was it a wheel route, John? I mean, obviously, you got a better view.
Which one? Which one? Sorry.
It was a wheel route, actually.
The deep throw to Saquon.
Yeah, that was a wheel. Yeah,
that was a wheel route. Okay, so yeah, I thought he should have hit that. He didn't. I mean, he looked off all night. But with the elements and look, I took the dog out outside of halftime. I can't imagine what it was like for those players during that game. But that's one of those I chalk it up to. You're going to have bad games every once in a while, and hopefully when you have those bad games, you don't turn the football over. Well, give credit where credit's due. 58 touchdowns to 7 giveaways since week 6 of last season.
That's unbelievable.
It really is.
That is unbelievable. Like that, I keep saying it's not sustainable. How is that?
And he finds a way to do it. Yeah. He broke the system.
Well, it's a little easier. Not easier. I'm not trying. I'm not going to say because people will take it the wrong way. I mean, part of it is because they do play risk averse, right?
Oh yes,
a big part
of it. Absolutely.
That's the point. That's the point. What do you want? What do you really want? What do you really want? I say that I'm not talking to you guys. What fans out there? What do you really want? Do you really want wins, or do you want things to look better?
That's fair. That's fair.
It's hard to argue 24-3 in your last 27 games. That is an 889 win percentage.
Yeah, I mean, how is an NFL fan base can you complain about that run?
No, you can't. I've never seen.
Oh, you can. We do it every day.
My dad actually made a joke to me last night. He sends me a text when I told him the Eagles are 24-3 in their last 27. He goes, I don't even know if they won 24 games from 1965 to 1970. Yeah. So think about that for a second.
It wasn't always like this, to say the least.
No, this was a poor franchise and again, there's a generation of fans that think 2015 is the worst year ever, and they went 7-9. So, look, this is awesome what they're doing. This is an incredible run. Soak it in, enjoy it. You might be getting another championship out of it this year.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna. I don't see anybody that's gonna beat this team.
I think they're more quick to win it this year than last year. I was like, well, if so-and-so does this, they could beat them. I see less of that this year than last year. Who the hell's going to beat them? Maybe Shane Steichen. Maybe Indianapolis.
If they get there.
If they get there, they don't know how to win either. But Taylor's having an historic year, just like Barkley was having last year. So you kind of see some of the connections, but you're going to trust Daniel Jones. I don't. He's playing well. He had been playing well. I don't know if he can do that. I just look at it and say Taylor's having a historic year, just like Saquon had. He's on a pace to beat Saquon, isn't he?
Touchdown wise, absolutely. Touchdown wise, he's on pace for 26 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
But I think his pace is like 1900, which is still an incredible season. I mean, look, Jonathan Taylor should be getting votes for MVP, and he's not because it's the most valuable quarterback award.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way,
but I'm stretching to try to find a team.
Who's coming out of the AFC?
Team that's the only team I'd look at and say that to me looks like a potential Super Bowl team.
Yeah,
that's it.
I mean, I want to say the Rams, but the Eagles beat them, and the Rams struggled against Seattle yesterday.
Yeah, the Rams, they got the Rams number because they got that whole style they play. They don't lose to that style. They don't. They're like. Well, they're I hate to give out these numbers. Like now they're 11-0 against the NFC North. He's
and
never
they have a chance to go 12-0.
Yeah, he's never. Oh, they will go 12-0. Nick has never lost to McVay. He's never lost to LaFleur. He's never lost to O'Connell. He's got a beat on that freaking offense.
Yeah, that's this is what I love. I saw someone tweet it, and I forget who it was. Could we trade Nick Sirianni for Sean McVay? I said, do you like losing? Like Nick Sirianni does not lose these people.
That's just always crazy because I think the Eagles could beat the Rams 10 straight times, and 2 weeks later, people will be saying, "Yeah, but I think Sean's a better coach." I'm like, maybe he's a better schemer. Not maybe he is, but as a coach,
I was a jerk watching Seahawks Rams. Yeah, I was a jerk watching Seahawks Rams yesterday. They were saying, what a big win for the Rams. And it was, but I said, I'm looking at it as, yeah, you were supposed to win that game. You were at home, and you did not play well. Seattle's going to beat them in Seattle. They're going to.
Well, I think so, yeah. I mean, that's the Sam game, and that's why people attack Sam, because he's going to have that game, because he takes chances. And that's what happens.
Yeah, some of that was worse than just taking chances.
Sam had a bad game. He did.
Yeah, he had a bad game. But it's going to happen, and it's going to happen more for guys who take chances. But it's going to look better when it's clicking.
But that win was huge. The Rams win over the Seahawks was huge for the Eagles. I do not want to see the Eagles go to Seattle for a playoff game.
Well,
they don't win there.
Tough place.
They haven't won there since 2008.
But they're not proven. Again,
no, they're not.
You have a coach who's not proven at that level. You have a quarterback who's not proven at that level. Who's proven? There's one team.
Oh, by the way, the Seahawks do not have a good offensive line either.
They never do.
No.
They never do.
They got some solid players on that offensive
line.
They're
better than they have been, but they're still not great.
But you saw yesterday what happens when you get the Byron Youngs of the world and the Kobe Turners and all them. And then you get the Darnold. It's
different. Yeah.
That whole pumpkin thing.
You get to any quarterback. That's the thing that frustrates me when they attack quarterbacks who have like Goff here, like Darnold there. No quarterback plays well when they're pressured. No, there's none. There's never been a history. Tom Brady lost to the Giants twice in the Super Bowl, games he should have won.
Because of their pressure.
Patrick Mahomes, 3 of his worst games are Super Bowl games. 3 of his worst games in his career.
Did you get to watch any of the Chiefs Broncos yesterday? Mahomes was rattled all day long.
Another example, and that's a regular season.
By the way, that might be the team I would pick to beat the Eagles in a Super Bowl because of their pressure. Denver.
Can somebody point to a quarterback under siege at any point that played well?
Jalen Hurts is literally at any against the blitz.
Well, I mean, I think
I'm not talking against blitz. People carve up the blitz anytime. I'm talking about a team that is whipping your ass up front, and not shitty blitzes because people blitz like Flores is going to blitz 60% of the time, and 30% of them are going to be shitty blitzes. And if you take advantage of it,
by the way, today. You should pat yourself on the back for JJ McCarthy again. He's terrible.
I've stopped talking about JJ because I feel bad for the kid at this point.
I wish Justin Jefferson would go AJ Brown on JJ.
Well, he can't play. It's not his fault that they drafted. They made a mistake. I blame O'Connell and Kwesi, the GM. He can't play. He can't play.
Yeah,
and that point.
Play.
He scored a touchdown late, and that's another team. So they went up. They completely outplayed 3.5 minutes, and all of a sudden they're up a point with 50 seconds, and they give up a long kickoff return. They lose. which isn't his fault. And he had a nice drive at the end of the game, and people are going to latch onto that and say, "Oh, see, he did this." He played 50 minutes of egregious football. Egregious before that.
The NFC playoff picture is becoming very interesting, by the way. The Lions are currently out. The Panthers are 6-5 as the Niners. The 49ers got back in. They're 7-4 right now, and their quarterback's back. I really don't know who's going to make it. Who's going to be that 7? I'm assuming it's going to be Detroit, but they got to play the Packers again. They got to play the Bears again.
They better get some damn people healthy, Detroit. I'll tell you that Laporta injury really crippled them. Really crippled him. Like, he's their third down guy. He's their fourth down guy too, and he's a matchup nightmare.
They might have to go to Jahmyr Gibbs like 30 times a game,
and then you start to wear him down. You don't want to do that. That's a big loss for them. That is a really big loss, and I don't know. He's going to be out at least 4 games.
Have you ever seen a team just completely shut down Amon-Ra St. Brown? Like the Eagles did?
Not recently, certainly.
That's the best route runner in football.
Yeah.
And they shut him down.
Yeah, well, a lot of that was the pressure up front, man, because he wasn't even at his spot yet, and Goff had to get rid of the football.
Well, he got a drop too. Even when he won, he got a drop. It's the game.
Yeah, everybody has bad games. There's not a player who's played football that hasn't had a bad game.
I forget who the Lions play next week, but I pity their opponent.
I don't know who they play, but
they got the Packers on Thanksgiving. That's not their next opponent.
Yeah, I have to look up who they're playing, but I don't know. I think they're going to struggle without Laporta. I do. I do. And
the 49ers, I know the Cardinals stink, and the 49ers are pretty good with Brock Purdy back.
They played the Giants. You're right. The Giants are in trouble.
If you ever want to get your season right, play the Giants. Even when you lose to the Giants, if you want to get your season right, play the Giants.
Right. I think the biggest positive, we just talked about a bunch of other quarterbacks. I think the biggest positive about, even Jalen here is like his bad games are just like, whose bad game would you rather have? Jalen's 14-28 or Darnold's 4 picks, and I think that's where
don't turn the ball over, Jalen Hurts.
That's my whole point. That's my whole point. So you're going to have the higher ups. So Jeff is the one who asked me the question. Would the Eagles coaching staff rather, I think you used Herbert, would the Eagles coaching staff rather have Justin? And I said, if you put truth serum in him, they'd rather have Justin Herbert. And then you asked me, and I thought it was an astute question, would they win more or lose more? And my answer was they would lose more.
Look at Justin Herbert yesterday.
There's another. He doesn't have his tackles, so he doesn't have Joe Alt, and he doesn't have Rashawn Slater, and he's
and Mekhi Becton's beat up too.
Yeah,
that whole team's beat up.
So quarterbacks can't play if they're not protected. None of them. But the larger point is, to the fans, they have to ask themselves a question: what would you rather do? Legitimate. Would you rather look good, or would you rather win? Because they would look a hell of a lot better with Justin Herbert playing quarterback. Would they be winning as much? I doubt it, because then the Eagles would go away from this risk-averse philosophy because they say, well, our quarterback's too good. We got to take advantage of him. And they start throwing the ball all over the lot. And here's, somebody gets beat and, tip ball and yada, yada, yada. The ball's going the other way. Be careful what you wish for, man.
Yeah. Look, Justin Herbert was rattled yesterday. I want to get this point about the Jaguars. I think they're going to make it. I think they're going to make the playoffs. They got some big wins in there.
Possible. It's a shit show over in the AFC.
Oh, it is. And the Jaguars are currently a 7th seed, and they have the tiebreaker over the Chiefs. Chiefs.
I don't want the Chiefs in the playoffs. I'm very upfront about that.
I don't think they're going to make it right now.
I don't think they're going to make it either.
I can't stand watching that team anymore. Can't stand.
The Chiefs have to play the Colts. The Colts can really put a death knell in that death nail in the coffin. Death nail in the coffin. It's
Who do you think are the biggest threats to the Eagles? It almost feels like this.
Yeah, I mean the team that beat them, I guess, Denver, but they have 14-point lead in the fourth quarter.
I'm much more worried about the Rams than Denver.
Yeah, I am too. And look, I don't think the Rams are that great. Matthew Stafford's the MVP of this league.
I agree.
And I don't think there's any way Bo Nix gets through the playoffs, even the AFC playoffs, to make the Super Bowl.
Could it be Eagles Patriots again?
Maybe.
Yeah, in theory, Patriots are sneaky. They have a good coach.
I think,
but again,
and Denver are a better chance to win the AFC than the Patriots. But
Vic Fangio,
I'll take the Bills.
I'll take Vic Fangio confusing Drake May for 100.
Don't sleep on the Bills, especially if the Chiefs don't make it. It might be their year.
Yeah, I'm sleeping on the Bills. I'm in a coma with the Bills.
Yeah, it's like
Josh Allen has to be Superman
to win.
Yeah.
The guy had 6 touchdowns yesterday. He's still the only quarterback ever in a regular season game to have 3 pass touchdowns and 3 rush touchdowns, and he's done it twice.
Yeah, he's unbelievable, but he's still a little bit too reckless to win the whole thing. And he has to be. Again, he has to be. Because he's got to be Superman for them to win.
John, let's play hypothetical. If the Ravens make it, if they find a way to win the AFC, they might not even have to win the AFC North to make it.
Well, I love the Ravens. I picked the Ravens again. They screwed me. They're going to win the division, I think.
They're 5-5 now. They were 1-5.
Although they played really poorly yesterday.
Oh, God. Well, if it wasn't for Shedeur Sanders, they would have lost.
Yeah, against Cleveland. And they had that nice
by the way, Myles Garrett is literally insane. What an insane
sacks over his last 3 games.
What an insane football player that guy.
What a waste of a football player, but yes, he is.
I know, it's so sad.
Did you see the fake Tush Push Baltimore ran with Andrews?
Oh, that was awesome. But Mark Andrews?
Yeah. That was crazy.
It was awesome.
Mark Andrews is fast, by the way. That was a heck of
a
move.
He's faster than people think.
Yeah,
I don't know why more teams don't do that, by the way.
The Eagles did it with DeAndre Swift a couple times.
No, I mean move tight ends. Like if you don't have Jalen Hurts, I'm not talking about the Eagles. I'm talking about average teams who don't have quarterbacks that can move the pile. Because a lot of college teams do it. I remember when Mitchell Evans did it. The first time I saw it, it's probably done elsewhere. First time I saw it was Notre Dame with Mitchell Evans. And it was unbelievable. Big tight end who felt comfortable taking the snap, and they would just convert at will. I'm surprised more teams don't do that.
I think they had an audible in there too. They had a guy line up like he was going to catch a pass. I think Mark Andrews was going to throw it, and he would have been open. I think that was the second read.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you can throw it, but I'm just saying the quarterback sneak. I mean, use a tight end.
Yeah, Dallas Goedert can do it.
Hurts is really good.
Well, the Eagles don't have to. I'm saying for teams that don't have.
Yeah, I mean, not only does Hurts have the build, but he's actually really good at it too.
Yeah,
I'm not sure a tight end.
I'm not advocating that for the Eagles. I'm saying
I know that. I'm saying in general. I mean, you would think taking a big tight end maybe would work as well. I don't know if.
By the way, my guy Dan Campbell always had the winning attitude. I always liked Dan Campbell when he was a player. I thought he was crazy. I'll share a little story about him and Jeremy Shockey a little later here. But the fact that Dan Campbell and the Lions voted in favor of that play and said, well, no, it's up to us to stop it. Oh, did they do a good job at doing that? It's funny when you don't have a losing attitude toward things.
Yeah, well, I think that's part of it. To Nick's point, I love Nick's quote last night. It was like he was watching football and teams were waiting to lose. I mean, I see that every week.
Yeah.
I have that mentality. It's like, oh, we scored too early.
I mean, somebody can make the argument on that, the Eagles too, though. I mean, with the ineptness of the offense, if Detroit had one more of those drives where they went 2 plays, 74 yards and a touchdown, maybe you're looking at a different outcome. Now they didn't. But I'm just saying you could make that argument about the way they play so conservatively. if
I'm not talking about one game. I'm talking about they think they're going to win. I know they think they're going to win. I know that 100,000,000% because they think that nobody should beat them. I use that term all the time. A lot of hubris with that organization. A lot of they think they're going to win every fucking game. You ask them about matchups, they're not worried about any matchups with the exception of Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons. That's the two players I could come up. And Aaron Donald previously. That was it.
And they only get to play Myles Garrett once every 4 years outside of a joint practice.
Everybody else, they're like, you worried about that? You worried about like, no, not really.
All right, Jeff, I got a question for you here on the offensive coaching staff. John, don't pollute. All right, let me hear what Jeff has to say.
He can pollute.
I don't pollute.
He can pollute.
But go ahead. I won't pollute.
We give Vic a lot of credit for how good the defense is. The offense, not so good. How much of it do you put on the coaches? And we're obviously not a show here that comes up here and says, oh, it's all Kevin Patullo at all. Do you think the offensive coaches are not doing a great job? How much of the blame, I guess, is for lack of a better word, do you put on them for how the offense has looked? And just what kind of context would you add to that?
I mean, there's a couple things. Just watching the game on TV last night, do the Eagles know how to run a route tree? Is that like a thing? Like, I know I'm Monday morning quarterbacking here, but it just feels like it's either a go ball or a quick slant, and that's all they got. And I don't know if that's coaching. I don't know if that's a scheme, but that's just an observation. But overall, again, it's hard for me to blame a coach when the offensive line is having trouble pass protecting. They're having trouble run blocking. I don't know if Saquon is – it seems like he lost his step. I don't know. It seems like A.J. Brown's lost a step. Don't know. The elements in play with the weather, I'll be honest, I really don't have an answer. I really don't. Like, it's so easy to blame Patullo, but there's so much more at play here.
It's fair.
Yeah, I agree with that. Execution, people hate it, but that's what matters more. And on both sides of the football. Here's what I like about Dan Campbell. I was just reading his quotes on the pass interference call on Rock Sin. Coming back home, by the way, Temple guy gets screwed.
Yeah. I thought Rock had a good game, man.
He said Temple tough on the broadcast last night.
Did he?
Yeah, they did the roll call.
So he's asked about the pass interference call, which was, let's be honest, that was a brutal call, but it is what it is. But I liked the way he handled it. He said, yeah, I thought he played defense like he did the whole game. I thought he challenged and played it like he did the very first rep, and we played man-to-man. So I wouldn't tell him to do anything different. Get up there and challenge player style, and that's it. Can't do anything about it. I mean, he gets screwed. Bad calls, good.
Yeah.
That's a bad look for the NFL, though, because there's a lot of, you're taking away. I say this about a lot of NFL games. People think it's an exciting product. I maintain, watch the Madrid game. It is not an exciting product.
That was a terrible game. Terrible game.
So you play, I think the secret to the NFL is you play 55 minutes of poor football, and then the games are close and they're exciting at the end, and people come out of it saying, hey, that was pretty cool. And I had a chance.
That's the attention span of today's society, too.
And they had a chance to have that last night. With, again, I think the Eagles defense would have held up, but they took it. You got to let the players decide that game. Yeah. You can't call that play.
But I hated that. I hated how the call was made. It's just, look, it was a defensive struggle the entire night for both. Offensive struggle, sorry. But defensive slugfest the entire night for both. And look, I don't want to see an official throw their flag in that situation, especially on a call like that.
But the Dan Campbell, what I like about Dan Campbell is, that's what football coaches say. Control what you can control. All right, you got screwed, you move on. That's all you can do.
Yeah. I've been a part of it. I helped coach basketball. Varsity basketball. I've been a part of it. We were screwed in the game by the refs. First thing we told the kids, it's not their fault. So, again, control what you can control. It is what it is.
Jeff, what did you make of Sirianni's decision at the end of the game last night?
Yeah, can't believe we went like 40 minutes without talking about this. What was he doing? Yeah. Yeah. But I'm thinking to myself, I understand it. Look, I heard him say this. John was in the room when this happened, that he would go for in this situation. You don't believe until he does it, but he's just like, man, Nick, you haven't converted the last 4 of these. You sure you want to do this? Punt the ball. They weren't scoring. You gave them 3 points. I don't know. The last 2 games, his 4th down decisions are, that's all I got.
By the way, Ed Kratz is telling me it's pass interference. Homer Ed Kratz. That's what I'm going to call it.
Homer Ed.
That was not pass.
Homer Jeff thinks NFL officials suck. So
is Ed listening to the show? Is that why he
I don't think he is, but no, because he's texting me. Probably doesn't realize I'm on the air, but he says it was pass interference.
That's not in the group chat, is it?
No.
Come on, man. Ed, that was
if Ed's listening. You're getting ripped. We're ripping you.
That was not pass interference, but it is what it is. I think it was more the spot that was annoying about it. You know what I mean? Just let him play at that point. But whatever, it is what it is. At that point. All right, Jeff. I mean, another win for this team over another great opponent. Like I said earlier, I'm having a sense of enlightenment. If the Lions aren't going to get us when we play bad offensively, nobody's going to get us when we play bad offensively, especially if that defense is looking like that.
I would have laughed at 2 things going into the season. If you had told me the Eagles would have held the Lions and Packers to a combined 16 points, I would have been like, yeah, okay. Oh, and the Eagles would go 2-0 against them. I'd be like, I could see it, but no, it's not going to happen. I thought they were going to lose the game in Lambeau and then beat Detroit. And I picked them to beat Detroit this week just because they just don't seem to lose against good teams anymore or against anybody. So, yeah, it's just amazing what one player can do for a defense, and how Howie Roseman tried to get this player for months on at a time, and I crucified him for not getting that player, and he finds a way to get one.
He knew. He's known for a very long time he needed a rusher. Just, it's not – you just don't click your fingers and get one. You got to wait for desperation.
That's why I was so, up in arms over – oh, the Eagles are going to trade A.J. Brown at the deadline. No, the Eagles do not trade great players midseason. They acquire great players midseason.
Well,
they're not going to
play.
Yeah.
Well, they usually don't acquire. They usually acquire below average.
Jannard Avery. It's usually Jannard Avery.
This is the first time they've gotten. A lot of people go back to Jahmyr. Jahmyr did a nice job with this team. And
he was a good player, though, when he got traded here.
He was a good player.
I mean, his knees were out. But
this time they got a true difference maker. I mean,
yes,
a big-time player.
Can the Eagles hand the Super Bowl ring to the Dolphins?
I know. Miami should be ashamed of themselves for giving that player to this team. Ashamed.
This is the same Dolphins franchise. I know it's been different regimes, but they gave the Eagles a 2nd-round pick for A.J. Feely. They took Byron Maxwell's contract off their hands. They traded for Kiko Alonso, who wasn't a bad player for them, but they got Kiko Alonso off their books. It's Jay Ajayi, Jalen Phillips. Dolphins, they're like a feeder system.
Yeah, and they gave him Jay, as you said. I'm still going back and forth on that. I told him we ripped him, and he said, "For this," and I said, "Yeah." So I called him home, but anyway.
Over.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff. Last one for me.
It was more. By the way, it was more OPI than DPI. If you were going to call something, AJ pushed off.
I actually thought the flag was on AJ.
And I wouldn't have called AJ either, but it was more. It was more OPI than DPI.
John, when you get a chance, I know people don't like Chris Collinsworth, but I love hearing from good NFL receivers when they play. Very good NFL receivers when they played on a play like that. And Collinsworth was beside himself. I'm like, you know what, Chris? That's really good analysis on this whole thing. Just from a guy who I don't think people realize how good Chris Collinsworth was when he played.
I like Chris. I think people are obnoxious.
I love Chris Collinsworth. I don't know why people hate him.
I don't know why people hate any. I think there's a lot of good analysts.
I do
Troy
too.
Aikman's really good.
Troy's great.
I love listening to Tom. I love
great.
Romo, even though they cut him off at the knees. Bateman's
AJ Watt's
good.
really good too.
I haven't heard as much of him. Olsen's tremendous.
Olsen's amazing.
Olsen's the best one they got.
It's
amazing. Like Greg Olsen called an awesome Super Bowl. Oh yeah, you're benched because Tom Brady wants to be a broadcaster.
Hey, that happens. It's not fair because Greg's phenomenal, but I mean Tom's Tom, and Tom's been very good. I would say if I had to rate analyst, I would say Olsen's number one.
Yeah. If I'm a new broadcast partner, say someone gets the international package when that comes available, or Netflix decides to get more inventory, I'm calling Greg Olsen right away.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. I think he understands the modern game better than just about it. Maybe not better than Tom, but he,
I'm a big Kirk Herbstreit fan. I don't like him covering the NFL.
It's weird to me. I agree. He's a college guy. I'm
a little Kirk.
He is.
But all right,
I love his dog. I'm a dog.
Oh, his dog's awesome. And you know what's funny, guys? The Al Michaels Kirk Herbstreit pairing is actually pretty good. It's just weird.
Al's getting too old, man. I mean, I hate to be an ageist because I'm old, but he
still has his fastball though.
I agree.
He was pretty good on Thursday night.
I think that Amazon broadcast is amazing. And
I'm an old guy, so I'm allowed to be an ageist. I'm being an ageist. We've had enough.
Let's play the broadcasting game here. Do we think Ian Eagle's going to be Al Michaels' replacement at Amazon? Because he's already there.
Maybe.
I mean, he's there calling the NBA.
And don't get me wrong, whoever replaces him won't be as good. But it happens to everybody. It happened to Vince Scully. It happened to Harry Callis here. It happens to everybody. At some point,
Harry definitely lost his fastball the last couple of years. Tom McCarthy was like kind of a breath of fresh air when he took. I know it sucks. Harry Callis passed away the way he did, but I always wondered how long Harry was going to do it because part of me thought he was going to retire after 2008. That's just not a broadcaster's mentality, but yeah, Harry was not Harry.
It's not an insult. They're great. They're legends, but you know how old was Vin when he stopped? I mean, my God.
89. See, here's why I never want him to retire. I like listening to him, and I know I'm never going to listen to him again. Keith Jackson, Al Michaels. Look, I'm a NASCAR guy.
What do you guys
Everybody
think
wants
of
my
Gus
joy
Johnson
out.
College football. Well, he's over the top, man.
Gus Johnson sucks. I'm sorry.
He's over the top. Like,
to me, I'm in Gary Danielson.
To me. It sounds
I'm in Gary Danielson after this year.
Yeah, Nestler's good too. Is he
Nestler's good? Yeah, it's Nestler and Danielson on CBS. Charles Davis is going to take. Charles Davis is going to take over Danielson.
On my nerves every once in a while, but they're good.
Yeah. No Eagle.
None of them really bother me that much. I mean, I always laugh at people who people make it their mission to come at Chris Collinsworth or these guys. I'm like, oh, guys, he's calling a game. It's okay. All right, Jeff, last question for me comes courtesy of somebody in the chat. Brandon Snyder, $10 super chat for Jeff. Look at this. Jeff, can you explain to me how Jalen Hurts can look like Warren Moon throwing the ball in the Super Bowl and in a few other instances throughout his career, yet he looks pedestrian at best all the other times?
A good thing the Super Bowl's in the dome most of the time, so that's why he can look like Warren Moon. But look, I just think this is a guy who just steps up when the lights are brightest. I thought he had an atrocious first half, by the way. I'm like, would it shock anybody here at Jalen Hurts was decent in the second half or above average because that's just how he plays. He has the highest passer rating in the third quarter of the league this year, the highest passer rating in third down. I think he has one of the highest passer ratings in the second half in the league this year. Look, the guy just. It's the risk-averse theory.
I'm glad you brought that up because I say it all the time, but I haven't said it today. There's a perfect example. Jared Goff didn't have it. He didn't have it. The whole freaking game, he didn't have it.
Yep.
Jalen Hurts plays bad, then he'll make 3-4 plays and beat you. It's rare. It's very rare.
He didn't really do that last night. I mean, I guess he made the play to Dotson. That was a really nice play.
It wasn't, but he's done it multiple times where he's had bad game. It looks like shit, and then he makes a play.
I really think when it's all said and done, with this quarterback, and Philadelphia knows, but I think everybody around the league's going to be like, when you look at Jalen Hurts' career, like, man, all the guy did is win.
I can't
Troy
wait
Aikman
for
did.
that. I can't wait for that Hall of Fame conversation. That'll be well structured.
What idiom do you think he'll have for us for the Hall of Fame when he gets in?
Say that again. What
what Jalen Hurts saying will we get
when
he ever gets in?
I
had a purpose before people had an opinion.
He's got so many T-shirt slogans. He's got a Rolodex, and it keeps growing.
Do you guys think he like collects them? You think he like writes them down throughout the week or something?
Sure.
Oh, you know he does.
Well, football people love quotes. They all have that. He's not alone.
And Jameis Winston's a quote machine.
Yeah,
Jameis Winston's fucking hilarious. I love that.
Did you hear him yesterday when the Giants scored on the tush push? Or no, they didn't score, but they got like 10 yards, and he's like, ban it. I'm like, oh my God.
By the way, the Lions did a heck of a job against the tush push. Best team
That's
ever.
why I like Dan Campbell.
Right.
I love Dan Campbell.
Get you out of the game, he says, "I'll stop it."
Yeah, I love Dan Campbell. From day one, so I got to get to this Dan Campbell story. I got to ask this guy this. I've heard a story about him that when he was teammates with Jeremy Shockey with the Giants in 2002, him and Jeremy Shockey would eat dirt off the ground before games, like eat legit dirt. And they played the Eagles on Monday Night Football at the Vet, and they were looking for turf to eat on that freaking cement. I want to hear if that happened and how they did it, because those two are insane.
Well, Dan certainly is.
Well, so is Shockey. They were perfect teammates.
He's a playmaker. Campbell was like a big dumb oaf, but Shockey
who played for every team the Eagles fans hate: the Giants, the Cowboys.
But he's turned into a very good coach, even though
I would love to play for Dan Campbell. I'd love to play for him. That guy can just motivate.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what? They're always banged up.
They are.
And they're
too busy biting kneecaps.
Yeah, they're biting kneecaps. Yeah, they might need to tone it down a little bit.
Oh, Brian Branch got hurt trying to be dumb when he hit Jahan Dotson last night.
What do you mean?
Brian Branch always gets hurt.
Yeah, he always gets hurt.
What do you mean trying to be dumb?
He launched in the Dotson. He did not need to do how he did.
Yeah, I don't think
he's a hard hitter. He's a hard.
That's
how he plays.
But I thought there was a way he could have just put like this is why these guys get hurt. By the way, it's the way they play.
See, I don't agree with that. They used to play a lot tougher, and they didn't get.
Oh, I know they did, but they but
I think they come up and it's like they've been taught to. All right, you got hit in the head, so go in the tent. Whereas, back in not that it's good, but back in the old days, hey, you're ringing your bell, get the hell back in there. There was a tougher mentality. It was a Dan Campbell mentality.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Dan Campbell was one of those guys. I liked him when he played, when he was the head coach. I remember he was an interim head coach for the Dolphins, and like the Dolphins were not half bad. I'm like, how's this guy not getting head coaching looks? And he finally got one.
Got to fit the suit, man. I was joking that Stefanski is going to get another job because he's got a nice beard. He's got the nice coaching beard. That'll get you a job. That's all that matters.
Dan Campbell's the Sean Payton disciple. He should get a job just based on that merit.
Yeah. If you got the nicely manicured beard, you're getting multiple.
Didn't Aaron Glenn come from that Saints team when Dan Campbell plunked him?
I'd have to look. Probably.
I think Johnny Morton was whoever the offensive. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the John Morton. I think he was on that Saints team. I think he was on that Saints team too.
Yeah, John Morton, by the way, got play calling taken away. Is Dan going to take it away after that performance? Come on.
Dan might take it away from himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. All right, Jeff. Good stuff, man. Appreciate you joining in today. Got to run. I got a bunch here to talk about with J-Mac. We appreciate you doing it, man. We'll talk to you again next week. All right, brother?
Yep, sounds great. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, bud.
Cowboys week. Cowboys week.
Big one, no doubt.